So what we're doing now is we're showing you how we can apply the understanding of multiplying and eventually a little bit later on in the show dividing decimals. We got plenty to talk about. Let's take a look at another problem. All right, so again, we got 15% of $160 is what amount of tax? All right, so 15% of $160 is what amount of tax? Let's say you go to a store, actually a restaurant. Let's say you go to a restaurant and you order a lot of food and the bill is $160. The bill is $160. So you got you and your family, and not only do you have to pay the $160, but you have to pay what's called a tip. A tip is the amount of money that's going towards your server, and oftentimes it's 15%. So my question to you is, how much tip, in addition to the $160 worth of food that you purchased, how much would you have to pay the server if you're going to pay the server 15% of the food that you purchase? To do that, you have to understand how to operate with percents. And to understand how to operate with percents, you have to know how to multiply decimals. Let's take a look at our problem. All right, so we have $160. 15% of $160 is, notice that key word, that's going to be for our second approach, is what amount of tax? Let's use our first approach where we turn the percent into a decimal. All right, so we have $160, and we're going to multiply by the decimal equivalent to 15%. Let's multiply. I told you to move the decimal place over 2. Multiply by 0.15. 0.15. 15%, the decimal equivalent to 15% is 0.15. All right, so we multiply, you get 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. Carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus the 3 is 8. Now we're going to multiply 1 times 0. That's 0. 1 times 6 is 6. And 1 times 1 is 1. You add those together. You get 0, 0, 4. Carry the 1, 2. All right. So you have no decimals up there. You have 2 decimals here. You're going to carry your 2 decimals over to your final answer. You get $24. $24. So 15% of a $160 bill is $24. So what you'd have to do is you would have to pay your total bill would be $160 plus whatever your sales tax would be. We haven't talked about that, and then you'd have to pay the $24 tip. All right, so that's one method. A second method would be to use this approach where you turn the decimal, the 20%, you turn the percent, 15% into a fraction. All right, so let's do that. Let's turn the 15% into a fraction. A percent, when you turn into a fraction, is always something over 100. So you got 15 over 100 is equal to, all right, so once again, you focus on the key words. Is top, is top, is top. Whatever number is associated with is going to go on the top. All right, and the number associated with of is going to go on the bottom. All right, so we have 15% of, we dealt with that already because we already turned that 15% into 15 over 100. So cross that out. We dealt with that already. Of 160. That tells you where the 160 goes. Of 160 is what amount? The is unknown. So you're going to put the 160 at the bottom. Put the 160 at the bottom. The is, which is unknown, you're going to put that at the top, and now you've got a proportion. All right, so now let's cross multiply. Let's cross multiply. 100 times x is 100x is equal to 160 times 15. All right, let's show a little work. 160 times 15. 160 times 15. You multiply, 0 times 5 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30, carry the 3. You get 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. And then down here you get 160. You add 0, 0, 14, 1. Yeah, we did this already. I should have noticed that already. We got 24, 2400. All right, so we get 2400. All right, so we cross multiplied. We have 100 times x. 100 times x is 100x. 15 times 160 is 2400. You divide by what's next to what you're solving for. You're solving for x, you divide by 100. Divide by 100, and then you get x is equal to 24 divided by 1 is 24. So you get the same 24 that we got in the first method. Mastery level understanding. Mastery level